You know what time it is. Time for your Sunday edition of the Hokey video blog. I'm meteorologist Ryan Hoke. We are talking snow, much like we have been for about the past week now, but we're getting really close to this event. We've had some wiggles and wobbles in the data over the past several days, but we're now starting to see a convergence on a solution for this snow event coming up tonight. We'll be sharing the latest data and our forecast with you here in just a second. Let's get first to today's Hokey weather fact, and the reason I'm showing you this is because I want to put our snow tonight into perspective. The average date of the first 1 inch of snow here in Metro Louisville is December 26th. Check the calendar. It is November 16th, and we should probably have snow on the ground by the morning of November 17th. So we are over a month early for this here in Metro Louisville. And of course, this is taken as an average from 1885 to the present. The look on the SkyTrack network of cameras has been a gloomy one this morning. You'll see from Paoli there at Paoli Peaks that we've got those overcast skies. No snow yet. In fact, no precipitation across the area this morning. You'll see that we do have a winter weather advisory, though, that is going to be in effect as we go throughout tonight into tomorrow morning. I'll take you through that here just real quick and show you kind of what this entails. It's going to start at 8 p.m. tonight. It's these counties you see shaded here in the purple and goes until noon tomorrow. This is for counties along and north of the river. The pink you see up towards Cincinnati, this is a winter storm warning that's been issued, and Carroll County is the only of our counties that falls under this, and that's been issued for the same time frame. It ends Monday at noon. The reason there's a winter storm warning there and a winter weather advisory in other counties is because those two areas are managed by different National Weather Service offices. There's a National Weather Service office in Wilmington, Ohio that manages Carroll County. The rest of us managed by either Indianapolis for Lawrence, Jackson, and Jennings counties, or by National Weather Service in Louisville. That's the rest of our counties that are managed by that. So that's why you see those two differences there. Otherwise, we've got the clouds in the area this morning. I want to call your attention, though, to the rain that we have going on in portions of Tennessee right now on down into Mississippi. This rain is going to be helping us get our system for this afternoon and this evening. This is the moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. Out to our west, though, we do have the oncoming wave that's going to be helping to give us our snow as we go throughout tonight. You'll see that they've got snow breaking out across much of the southern portion of the Great Plains. We've got the rain here in Tennessee. These will eventually phase or merge over our area and give us that chance for snow. So there's a lot of things that have to happen before we get the snow here in Louisville, and that's why we're trying to be as careful as we can with this snow forecast. Alright, so we're going to be talking about now the first accumulating snow of the season. Neat little graphic there. Alright, here's Futurecast. As we go throughout this afternoon, we begin to see rain showers moving into the area. They'll be isolated at first by 2 o'clock. 42 degrees will likely be our high temperature this afternoon. I think Futurecast actually does have a good handle on that. As we go throughout 4 o'clock, more and more rain showers. So if you see rain out the window this afternoon, don't be surprised. That doesn't mean the snow forecast is completely blown. It just means that it is actually progressing as we think it will. By the time we get into 9 o'clock this evening, we get a precipitation band that blossoms on the northern side of this as the system really cranks up. It begins to get stronger and it pulls in some colder air. So we get a changeover to snow in our southern Indiana counties here on Futurecast. Notice how heavy this snow is, this lighter shade of white right here, depicting where the heavier snow is. But these temperatures still above freezing at this time, so it may accumulate on the grassy surfaces, the elevated surfaces, before it does so on the road. Now, where we do have the heavier snow falling, even with the higher temperatures above freezing, we could still get some brief accumulation on the roadway. So you'll want to be careful out there as we go throughout this evening. As we go into the late night into early tomorrow morning, that rain-snow line crosses the river. It's over in Metro Louisville after midnight. These temperatures still in southern Indiana above freezing, and the same story here in Metro Louisville. We'll have to see on this. This is going to be a close call, folks, because the NAM model is going a little bit warmer on the surface temperatures and looks something about like this. The RPM favors the NAM model here on this, and with this close in time, we do have to start really favoring the high-resolution models, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're right. So we'll have to watch that, because the GFS, of course, does have some colder temperatures, us going below freezing about this time. So that's going to be a big impact on the morning commute, whether or not we are above or below freezing. I do think that the outlying areas will go below freezing, though, as we go throughout tomorrow morning. So the morning commute in those areas could be a real problem. We'll be watching that. We'll be here with Wave 3 News at 6 and 11 and Wave 3 News Sunrise to go over the latest on that morning commute for you. By 8 o'clock in the morning, most of the snow is east of us, but we're still left with some residual snow showers, and that could make the morning commute a problem because we'll be having those temperatures getting down to around freezing during this time, a little bit of snow still falling. If we have some wet roadways, well, in areas where we get down into the upper 20s, they could freeze at that point. So definitely something to watch. So the road problems would be tomorrow morning. Not tonight, though. I think tonight we'll have mostly a rain-to-snow situation with temperatures just above that freezing mark, so just wet roadways. You'll want to use caution still, but the real problems could be lagging behind until tomorrow morning. So even though we are close to this event, there are still some questions on that temperature, so we'll have to keep watch. The snow meter, we've upgraded it to a 4. Definitely shovel time across the area. We'll show you some of the models and show you what they show here, just so you get an idea of some of the data that we're looking at. This is not our forecast here. This is the NAM model, and it had been showing the heavier snow well up into southern and central Indiana before. It has come into line with more the GFS, the Euro, the Canadian thinking of it more toward the Ohio River. So we're seeing some convergence on that. Totals look to be about 2 to 4 inches over this broad swath here. I do think it's being a little broad. The high-resolution version of this model refines it more toward this area right here, where you'd see the 2 to 4 swath. And I think that's actually a better estimate. Here's the RPM model. It's favored the NAM throughout much of the week here that we've been looking at this, and you will see that it is very close, maybe about an inch less on the accumulation, but the placement very similar along and north of the Ohio River. The GFS model, we're showing you this more for entertainment purposes. We don't really want to hammer home that this is a huge part of our forecast here, because it is a part of it, but just not a big part. It's showing, totals over 4 inches during this time, and I really think that is a possibility. We could see an isolated amount over 4 inches or 2, but we're not going to see the widespread 4 inches or more that it's showing here. I just don't think that's in the forecast. The Euro doing about the same thing, except it's transferred it up toward the Cincinnati area with some outlandish totals up there. I think that's being too broad. Time to throw out this model. Time to do some meteorological analysis and look at some past events and look at what we think we're going to have here. And it looks like 2 to 4 inches is going to be the rule for Metro Louisville areas along the river. Now, what I have done here is ramp this down to 1 to 2 inches over the northern portion of our viewing area and some of our southern Indiana counties here. I don't think that the banding is going to be quite as strong here. I think the heavier totals are going to be closer to where that critical rain snow line is. So I've gone a little tighter with this 2 to 4 inches than some of the models have. The 1 to 2 inches also extends down into some of our Kentucky counties south of Bardstown as well. And it looks like really just up to an inch. That'll be a best guess there for Campbellsville down toward Adair County at this time. So folks down in Bardstown, Eaton, Litchfield, you're not left out of this, but certainly I don't think this is going to be quite as heavy as an event. You guys will stay rain for longer than we will here in Metro Louisville and southern Indiana, so that'll take totals down just a little bit as well as those temperatures. As we go throughout your Monday, we may see a few additional snow showers Monday afternoon. I don't think they'll really amount to much in terms of accumulation, just a few flakes falling from the sky before we get some very, 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 very cold air in here for this time of year. We'll only be topping out in the mid-20s Tuesday afternoon. We'll see an overnight low by Tuesday morning of only 14 degrees here in the city. That's going to be significantly cold for this time of year in Louisville, Kentucky. So get ready to bundle up, folks. We've got some bitterly cold air coming in right behind this snow system. Brian Good will be in here this afternoon. He'll take you through the snow event as we go throughout Wave 3 News at 6 and 11. And we'll have Christy Dutton in here bright and early tomorrow morning on Wave 3 News Sunrise, detailing your commute. For now, that's all. I'm meteorologist Ryan Hoke. Stay on the Wave 3 Weather Facebook page, Twitter, and on our blog for updates.